hugged Brandon in the field. Well,
Like,
Purvis,
it's
I'm
300
standing-
out here. It's
I'm standing outside the Chief Keef stage 1 performance, and you can really tell these bitches do in fact love Sosa.
That's amazing.
All right, now we're gonna have to make that happen.
Yeah.
We have to make a whole skit out of it.
We got stuff. I think like. Oh, by the way, welcome to the show, everybody. We're recording.
Nice.
Yeah, we started doing that incredible bit. I wasn't gonna let that go to waste. Use all of the animal Purvis. Yeah, welcome to the show, everybody. It's been a couple weeks, but we're back. Better than ever. Jeff's here.
Even increased. Yes.
Yeah, Jeff's here.
I come in peace.
The official announcement.
If you've noticed, we've been a little bit more active on social media, and that's because Jeff is going to be our social media guy. He's officially a nobody. He's been on forever, since before the video era, so he knows his way around this podcast, but he's coming on board officially now. Jeff, any words as you officially become an unpaid nobody?
No, I just appreciate you guys having me on board, looking to help grow and make this podcast what it should be.
Yeah, so we're going to be a 4-man team out at Summer Smash, out at Lala. Not 4-man for every day, but we got a good crew now. Got a good crew.
We'll be all over the place.
We're going to be everywhere. We're going to be everywhere. I'm going to be at the 40th anniversary of House Music party this weekend.
Hell yeah.
It's on Sunday, and it's free.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
I might be reaching out to you for that.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah, no, if it's Sunday afternoon and evening, me and Rachel are going. Because our, RIP, our favorite house music festival on the South Side that we go to every year, they actually announced this week that they're not doing it this year, which sucks, and I'm very upset. Yeah, it's a bummer, but so we're gonna do this.
It's all getting pricey for booking all these bands. Like you're seeing a bunch of festivals struggling booking artists like that.
Yeah, so I hope they come back next year, but we'll see. But the city's throwing this huge. It's they're doing a huge parade in the morning. We're not going to that, and then it's a huge festival in Grant Park, I believe. I'll be getting the details later tonight, but yeah. So that's that, and we're reviewing a hell of an album. Hell of a teased, announced, and released since our last episode.
Yes.
Vince Staples, Dark Times.
He almost dropped it like out of nowhere, but whenever he drops, I'm excited. I'm here.
Spoiler alert, it's a very high quality album. I think it's gonna be a very fun album to talk about. And we talked about Vince Staples early in the podcast show. We had a Vince Staples episode. Mm-hmm. So it's always nice to revisit it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll start off with the news then.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Brandon, the album of the year, the one you've rumored, is finally here.
Yeah, it's here. It's actually out. 96 miles from Bethlehem, from Belly.
Now, this was a very short one, but I believe it was worth it.
Yeah, no, it's short, it's dense, it's a lot. It's a pretty unflinching look at what is happening in the Gaza Strip and with Palestine right now. In case you couldn't tell from the title, it's about that. All the creative all throughout the album are Palestinian. I think the only one involved with it who isn't is Metro Boomin. And yeah, I think it hits hard. I am a little disappointed that it is so short, but at the same time, it's about a genocide. I don't know if that's something you make a really lengthy album about. Could it have been 30 minutes long? Sure. But I think that there were maybe some tempered expectations, and also probably a rush to get this out while it's happening, because this is, all the streams, all the merch, all the revenue from that is going to foundations in the Gaza Strip. So I think there was some very understandable pressure to get this out as soon as possible, and I think that contributed to the length. But yeah, I think this might be the album we cover next week, at least partly for the episode.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So we'll talk about the whole thing next week. But so far, I really enjoyed it. It was, I'm a little upset. It's 18 minutes, but at the end of the day, I think I understand.
I mean, you told me it exclusively produced by Metro, so that alone I think is worth it.
Oh yeah, no, I don't know exactly how intense he is. I think he just executive produced it because I know a bunch of the producers are from Palestine. But I'm pretty sure the one he produced, Patience and Patience, is intense. It's insane. It's the one he's been putting on his story with the drum line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah. He has a music video out for that also.
He does? Yeah, I gotta watch that then.
I believe you were mentioning an entire album video where it's actually breaking down the lyrics, which I think is really
he has
dope.
a whole video for the whole album for a lyric video.
Oh, that's nuts.
That's like the new trend too. I really like that.
Yeah, I think that's cool. So I think this is a huge release. I'm very excited to see the reception to this, because like Belly is just like very under the radar. You know, I don't want to call him small because I don't think that's true. But you know, he's just doesn't like Fantano doesn't cover Belly. Pitchfork doesn't cover Belly. You know, so I wonder.
Enough traction, though.
I think this is going to be big. And I know he still has another album. This was an album he added because of he still has his final album. He added this because of the conflict, which, you know, makes total sense.
Makes sense, yeah. It's almost, I don't want to call it a mixtape, but like it would make sense to like label this as a mixtape where like it's a side project.
You know, it's a very modern, like, yeah, I guess if, in like a modern context, yeah, I think it's fair to call it a mixtape. You know, I think.
Oh yeah, with how short it is, that's definitely brings.
Well, because like to me, I don't associate mixtapes with being short. To me, it's about like borrowing other people's beats, lower level production. You know, a little bit more of a raw sound, and that's not what this is. Yeah, this is very grand. Like it's short, but it's very polished and well produced.
I could see it picking up a lot of traction because I'm not comparing Belly to MGK, but I know MGK released a single recently that was covering some of the same topics.
That was Macklemore.
Or Macklemore, okay.
Yeah.
He
bad, also bad, but not as bad. Like,
not as bad.
Yeah, no, he got a lot of traction. And like I salute Macklemore for that. You know, I think that was like cool. I'm happy you finally did something cool 12 years later.
Never too late, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I really hope this picks up traction. I think it's an excellent project. I'm excited to talk about it in depth next week.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, going on to some of the other stuff coming out. We only have 2 other albums that are kind of larger coming out. Lucky is coming out with Two-Face Part 2. I'm excited for it. You know, you take it as it is. In my opinion, but I think I'll enjoy it. And then the deluxe version of the album that came out last week, Ian coming out with the Valedictorian. He's been coming up out of nowhere and gaining a lot of traction, so I'm actually excited to go into this. I
never heard of him. I never heard of him until this album came out.
I feel like it just came out of nowhere, to be honest. Yeah. And like everyone on my feed, I'll correct myself. On my feed, it's coming up a lot, and a lot of people are talking about it. And he's got a lot of good features on that as well. So I don't know. I'm excited to check it out finally. And there's a deluxe version now, so I'm here for it.
Yeah.
But on to the true meat of all the releases coming out. As we all know, it's late May. All the singles will be releasing, trying to be a summer hit. So we have a lot of singles to go over.
Yeah.
Starting off, we have Fred again working with Anderson .Paak and Chica coming out with Places to Be.
This is gonna be a hit. Yes. Do you guys listen to Chica?
I know a little bit about it, not too much though.
Rachel's a big fan, so I hear a lot of it through her, and she's extremely talented. It's not exactly like the kind of music I listen to on a day-to-day basis. It's very, you know, spoken word, soft candle, like, you know, soul music influenced. But it's really good. She's extremely talented. So Netflix she was in that Netflix documentary about women in hip hop that came out like I think earlier this year. Yeah, she was in that. So
I'll let you check that out.
Yeah, no, she's really good. So this is, and I like Fred again a lot. Like I like
blowing up.
Yeah, I've been following Fred again since I think 2022. So yeah, no, I think this is all winners. So I think this sounds great. Yeah.
Absolutely, I'm here for it. And obviously, Anderson .Paak is working on the follow up for, is it No Worries? Right, their album is coming out, so I'm here for it. I love
Yeah.
it. We also have Meek Mill is coming out with 5 a.m. in Philly. I have mixed emotions on this. If it is teasing what it might be, obviously Drake is infamous for his titles with the timestamp in a city. If Meek Mill is trying to add,
And right after Kendrick did it.
Oh my god.
part of me is like, you already lost. Let
Listen,
it go.
listen,
The other
listen.
part of me
I
is
think
like,
there's a
give it
reason.
all.
There's a reason that Kendrick put out 30 minutes of diss tracks and didn't say the phrase Meek Mill once. Like,
Look, if it's shaming Drake, maybe I'll take
Yeah.
it.
dude, he's been dog walked. It's hot. Like, it's so bad. Like,
I wasn't even gonna bring it up, but now that you mention that, it's funny. I can't remember that. I think it's Camila Cabello. I could be wrong,
yeah.
but
Yep,
she's
yep,
also
yep.
coming out with an album, and he's got 2 songs on it. One a feature, one his entirely his song on the album. And her explanation is like, "Why would I not have a Drake song on my album?" So
Yeah, it's insane. Did you guys listen? Oh my god, did you guys listen to that song he did with Sexy Red?
I did.
Oh
Listen
my
to it in
god, it's
the
the
remix of BBL Jersey.
dude. That's the best part of the song. Like,
Because it's so bad. No,
It's like, and people were just ready to let it go. Like,
Yeah.
almost, they were so close.
it
Yeah,
could
to
have
bring it back
died
up.
where it was.
not me. I'm still listening to Not Like Us
Okay, I'll give you that. Yeah.
all summer.
Brennan and I have a group chat with my brother, and we were talking about like, oh, what are going to be the summer bangers if like we don't have Drake? And it's just like, I will gladly play Swimming Pills. I will play Money Trees. I'll play everything.
All right. If you're at a pool party playing All Right a little bit,
Yes, I will gladly listen to Kendrick at the pool party.
yeah.
But anyway, moving on to some of the other singles coming out. Logic is back with Deja Vu.
Okay.
Deja vu,
Logic.
more bad music.
Yeah. I'm
said
having
no
a
comment.
deja vu
Silent.
of not liking.
Yeah.
Silence was deafening.
I'm not liking Logic.
Moving on to
Now
a
some
more
good
popular white
Yeah.
white artist.
an
Action
ally.
Bronson is coming out with Nourish a Thug. but
It's out.
that's
I listened
Matt
to it
Manning
this
cut.
morning.
You listened to it? Is it good? I haven't heard it.
As a video too. It's really weird. It's
It's really weird.
It's not weird. It's just like a very meticulously shot video of Action Bronson camping.
Okay,
And
cool.
yeah,
All right,
But who's going to make him a chopped cheese in the wilds of upstate New York?
he's just making food on the fire. It's great.
Incredible.
Yeah.
He's eating sandwiches you've never heard of.
In parks
In
you've
national
never
parks you've never been to.
Yeah, it's exactly that. God, dude, I listen
the
to a
whole
shit
point
ton
of
of
that
Action
video.
Bronson now. God,
But anyway,
Yeah.
moving on.
no, it's a great track. It's a great track. I absolutely one that you guys should listen to. It's produced by Derringer, the Griselda guy.
Oh, okay, bet.
Yeah.
Look, we've been saying for a while, Action Bronson needs to release some music with them. So
Yeah, I would love an Action Bronson Griselda project. That'd be sick.
it just makes sense. Going on, we also have Lacey partnering up with Teasel Touchdown and Cash Cobain. They will be dropping the single Daylight. I'm actually very excited for this. I don't know who Cash Cobain was prior to like last week,
Yeah, with
but
Grippy.
he's been on like, yeah.
I thought that
Grippy
song
with
was
J. Cole.
awful.
It's not great.
Yeah, no, that song's awful.
But we will not discuss
Yeah.
J. Cole slander on the podcast.
Yeah,
I
no.
don't know. I think we can discuss it.
Yeah, no, it was not great. It was
It was not good.
it was not a good
But-
look.
But he does have a feature with Don Tolliver, and that song smacks. It's a great song.
Okay, I'm re-listening to that. And listen, I like Tizo, but I don't know if I'm like all down for this.
Is Tizo gonna be at Summer Smash?
He's at
Or
Lala.
just Lala? Okay, just Lala.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for that. I don't know who Cash Cobain is or where he came from, but he's got several big name partnerships now. Moving on from that, we have Polo G coming out with Angels in the Sky. I think that'll be cool to check out. We also have Kehlani dropping Next Up. We have Jesse Reyes partnering with Big Sean, Large Sean. dropping "Shut Up." We have
Sizable
Coach.
Jonathan.
Yes,
Yeah.
sizable Jonathan. And then we have Coaches coming out with "Layup," and Lucky Day coming out with "Soft." So a lot of R&B at the end of that list there, but a lot of cool stuff to check out.
You forgot one of the biggest artists. Eminem has Houdini dropping also.
Yes,
Wow.
forget it.
Your Eminem slander.
Did I forget it?
Yeah.
I mean, he's promoting this as his
He did.
final album, so
I've heard
I mean,
that.
hopefully it's
Yeah.
better than what he's released.
Yeah, recently. Yeah.
You are correct. I don't know how I forgot that, to be honest.
Yeah, no. It's gonna be in our war journalist mode, we're gonna have to cover this Eminem project.
I'm gonna be seeing him in October.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
For
Eminem.
what concert?
Eminem and Sting
Oh,
are
yeah,
dual
the-
headliners at Formula One in Austin.
Yes,
Ah.
correct. I remember
Oh.
now.
So it's gonna be Sting Friday night, and then Eminem Saturday night post qualifying. Which is
Interesting.
gonna be wild. Actually, post sprint race, it's a sprint race weekend, which is why they're doing Friday, Saturday, and not Saturday, Sunday. So
I don't know
Interesting.
what sprint race means.
Yeah, I don't know.
it's a different format for
I don't
F1.
know. It's a bougie
Fair
rich
enough,
person
fair
sport. I'm not into it. Like,
Okay.
Fair enough. It's how I treat golf.
yeah, it's
But
like-
anyway,
yeah. That's how it's like golf to me. So
we
yeah,
also
a lot
have-
of singles, but we have a lot of news.
Yes, a lot of news as well. I wanted to cover some stuff we weren't able to talk about last week. Spotify has dropped the 100 greatest hip hop songs in the streaming era. Jasper and I listened to it together in the car, and thank God that I realized that it was the streaming era.
Yeah, it is.
Because I was like, top 100 songs of what?
Self care is 85. Bad list.
It is literally greatest hits. I honestly think this is like it consists of the top streaming 100 songs.
Yeah, this has to
That's
be
it.
like top stream.
That's it.
Like this has to be
It's
like
nothing else.
like. Don't get me wrong, I like a lot of these songs, but like
Yeah.
greatest, I don't know. Like popular, sure.
Is Rockstar on there? The Post Malone one?
That would make sense. I don't.
It's
Because
not in
that
the
is
top
the-
10.
I
We
would say
were
that
going
is,
through like just
that is
naming
the
artists.
number one
Yeah.
most streamed hip hop song of all time. So if that's not number one, it's not based strictly on numbers.
Yeah,
It's gotta
number
be
one
just,
is
like-
all right.
Yeah, it's got to be
Yeah.
opinion
Which
based
is
and
good.
like their staff.
Yeah,
or
all
something.
right. Bodak Yellow, God's plan.
it's a lot
I'm
of
going
highs and lows.
backwards. So
Yeah, no,
fourth is EXO Tour Life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's not explicitly numbers, but it does seem like it is.
Numbers influenced.
Yeah, it's definitely popular. Like
And I think it's close
Trap Queen at
enough.
21 is a good placement for that song though. Like,
Yes,
That's early streaming era too, like real early.
exactly.
yeah.
It was close enough because like doing the whole car ride, just when I was
Yeah.
like, is this artist there? Is that artist there?
Rockstar
And it was
is 27.
okay.
Yeah,
So
definitely
a
not.
combination of stuff.
Definitely not volume based, but also like lightly volume influenced, probably.
Yeah.
Which again, it's the streaming era. It's the main thing.
Ric Flair
It's
drip.
the numbers thing. But much more exciting, in my opinion, Apple officially has completed their top 100 album lists of all time. Did you all see the list?
I saw
about that.
the.
I would highly recommend.
I saw the top 10.
I would look at all of them. It is like I would say this. There's a couple things that do kind of stand out that are newer projects that kind of don't feel like they fit in. Astroworld made 98. There was a Billie Eilish one in like the 30s or 20s. Taylor
Yeah.
Swift made like 18, I want to say.
Yeah, 98.
Um,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an interesting combination, but overall, I'm not gonna lie, I think it's a solid list. I really do. It's a very difficult list to make, and the fact that they brought up a lot of classics that
Yeah.
like everybody recognized, it's a solid list.
Yeah.
in my opinion.
I'm looking at
I'm
the top
sorry,
10, and I have no serious issues with it.
I'm sorry, but Un Verano Sin Ti over Marshall Mathers LP, like the original one, is crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of big artists
That's
that were cut
wild.
off from it.
Yeah.
They're definitely. We were talking about this in the car. SOS at 72. It
Yeah,
seems like there's
that-
a lot of
that's
recency bias
kinda
going
brutal.
on here. Yeah.
That's kind of brutal in my opinion. That was one of the ones where I was like, it's
Yeah,
just,
that's not even her best
too new.
project.
It's not.
No,
And
yeah,
it's too new. There's no point to this.
yeah.
So yeah, Astroworld stuck out like a sore thumb. SOS kind of stuck out. But besides that,
Yeah.
I thought it was a decent list.
Yeah.
Flower Boy made it.
Flower Boy
So
made
shout out
it.
to Flower
What do you
Boy.
guys think about Blonde over Good Kid, Mad City?
I'll allow it.
Yeah, honestly, I'm okay. I'm okay
Yeah.
with it.
Like,
I
if
knew
there
Blonde
was
was
an
gonna be
album,
top
like,
10,
if there was
did
one
not
to put
expect
above
that.
it, you know, because
Yeah.
like,
That would be it.
yeah,
Musically, Blonde is definitely more complete, and Good Kid, Mad City feels like more of an introductory project. Like, I think even though as genuine and as like good as it is, you could definitely feel how refined Blonde is relative to it.
see, I don't necessarily agree with that. Like, I agree that Blonde is very well refined, but I think Good Kid, Mad City is infinitely more ambitious.
That's fair. Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
like, and for the most part, pulling it off. But like, once again, like, if it's gonna be any project in this sphere that's gonna beat out Good Kid, Mad City, and the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill at number 1 is pretty good pick. You know, one Thriller at number 2.
Master of Puppets made it.
Yeah,
Dark
of course
Side
it
of the
did.
Moon.
Yeah,
Dark Side of the Moon is too low.
yeah, I can agree with that.
Like way too low.
Yeah, yeah, that being under 1989, which I actually don't hate on this list, but that,
Also,
yeah,
Abbey Road being this high and not even having Let It Be on here is not. That's I'm not about that. I'm sorry.
yeah,
And
Rihanna
I mean,
made it.
Revolver I accept. Revolver is well placed, but having Abbey Road and not Let It Be, I think that's a problem.
yeah.
Well, I was actually going to say there's only like 3 or 4 artists that have more than one album on the list. I know
Yeah.
Beyonce is one of them.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Good Kid, Mad City going over to Pimp a Butterfly? Is that okay?
Yeah, I'm fine with
yeah.
that. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I mean, I do think To Pimp a Butterfly is like a better project,
Mhm.
but it's, yeah, like I can see like in the, you know, I think for the same reason some people think like Off the Walls was a better Michael project, right? Like, I see why this is the more popular one, so I'm okay with that for sure.
Yeah, the standout tracks off of Good Kid, Mad City, I think, punch a little bit above their weight class compared to like the standout tracks off of, aside from All Right and maybe King Kunta. It's like, what are you pulling out just out of context to listen to from, you know, to Pimp a
And
Butterfly?
is at a
These
single level.
Walls, Mortal Man,
These Walls, yeah, true, yeah. I mean, so
But
that's like
Good
we got
Kid,
like
Mad City does
Black
four
of the
songs
Berry.
versus like 10.
Yeah, no, and
Yeah.
I definitely agree. Like on a song to song level, and like on a project that works on multiple levels. Yeah, I will say, yeah, 100%.
My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, 26.
Above Dark Side of the Moon, which is crazy.
Yeah. One that absolutely pisses me off. There's one that has gotten a very bad reaction on me, and that is Jimi Hendrix Are You Experienced at 63.
You think it's
that's
low,
way too low.
That's really low.
Way too low. That should be a top 40 album.
Yeah.
Taylor
okay.
Swift at 18.
Man,
I don't know.
I really
It's too high.
I will defend 1989. I think it should be on this list, but yeah, that is way too high.
That's crazy.
Bro, I had a whole argument with this about one of my friends. I had never listened to 1989. I sat my fat black ass down and listened to 1989 about this white lady crying about her relationships.
Yeah.
It's a good album.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna I won't take it away from her. Her singing is better than I expected. I feel like just because I haven't actually dived into Taylor Swift, I'm just feeding off of what's on my timelines. It's a good album, but like in the teens is aggressive.
Yeah, I agree with
Top
that.
100.
I 100% agree with that.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
and it's the problem, I think, also more so not of the quality of the music, but what it represents to have an album by Taylor Swift that high, right?
Yes.
Drake for white women is not exactly good for necessarily like music culture.
Yeah, right. And look at the other albums it's surrounded by. You know, The Chronic,
the biggest thing.
What's Going On, which is probably
Marvin Gaye.
Yeah,
like,
that's nuts.
That's a piece of history.
Yeah.
Also, AM above All Eyes on Me is crazy.
AM above Masters of Puppets should get this person in jail. Like now that there are like little individual things. I do agree. I don't think it's that bad. Like it's way less out of touch than most of these. Oh, big corporation does a big list of things. This is way better than most of them, but yeah.
I don't feel like this was driven by money, which alone makes me appreciate it.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. I'm trying to see if there's any other insane takes.
Patti
It was
Smith.
D'Angelo on the list.
Horses by Patti Smith should be higher. That's higher than 83.
Wait, where is
sure.
D'Angelo? Is D'Angelo's Brown Sugar on this list?
No, it's
D'Angelo was
what's
on.
it?
Oh, Voodoo. Oh, that's okay.
Yeah,
I prefer Brown Sugar, but okay, I'm fine with that.
Bad Bunny made the list.
That's okay. Of course he did.
He's too high up too.
Yeah.
Assuming he should even be on it. Flower Boy being the only Tyler project on here, I think is also kind of wild.
I don't know.
What other project would you
I mean,
put
as
on
opposed to Igor, I would just swap it for Igor, like a one.
Oh,
okay. I can.
Fair enough.
That's fair. I could.
Like the fact that they picked Flower Boy over Igor as like a project is wild.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do think they're pretty similar in quality, but I do agree that Igor is better.
Igor's just so much more cohesive as a concept album. Too,
yeah,
you know?
I agree with that.
Oh, I missed Doggy Style. I didn't see that either.
Yeah, that makes sense, but
No.
I think it's the fact that the Chronic is so high and Doggy Style is so low, and I think they're of pretty similar quality. Is tough.
That's kind of weird. Lady Gaga made the list. Okay,
also, Astroworld over Rodeo. Boo.
Yeah, Astroworld.
Yeah, 100%. That's and like
I feel like it just made it because of the quality.
I also do not like how low Rage Against the Machine's self-titled is.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. We're gonna
Yes.
it's good, not great.
We should make our own. That should be a whole separate episode.
That could be a huge, massive episode if we do our top 100 albums. The thing is, it's gonna be
all get our own top 100.
We should get 25.
Yeah. No, we have to. No, we should. What we should do is we should come up with it by consensus, and present it in an episode. Like that's what we should do. Like,
oh my
it
God.
would take us so long.
Let's get started. Everyone start working. I'm gonna be like, oh, the Spider-Verse soundtrack.
Agreed. Approved.
Top 5 easily.
Oh my God. All right.
Okay.
Moving on to the
moving on
next.
to some other news. I do want to mention very quickly, we've gotten a ton of album announcements without dates, but I think they are important to cover. We are entering summer like tomorrow, basically.
No.
June is in what, 1 or 2 days. So we got a lot of stuff released for the summer and the fall. We have Kane Trinata coming out with an album. We have Jid coming out with an album. We have Smino coming out with an album. Isaiah Rashad and Don Toliver, all fairly big names. I feel like they're all fitting that. I don't want to say tier 2 as though it's disrespectful, but I think it'll be exciting music coming out. It's a big year. It's it's challenging 2016 in my opinion, especially when you consider the beef as well. It's been a good year.
It's been a nuts year. There's been a lot of good music. It's honestly a little sickening. Like there's been a ton. Right,
I'm not against it. Keep it coming.
You know, and it's crazy. It's just nuts. And yeah, no, I can't believe all these projects are coming. What are the ones we're all most excited for? Hard Mode cannot say Jid.
Why can't I say Jid?
Because he's clearly the most exciting.
It's with Metro Boomin. Like I have to say Jid. Honestly, I'm here for all of it.
Yeah, me too.
All the Don Toliver leading singles have been phenomenal.
I've really liked the Don Toliver lead up singles a lot. I'm excited for Isaiah Rashad, Jid, Kate Trinata. Yeah, no, this is gonna be a great summer. This is gonna be.
We're getting a Smino single in like a week.
Yeah,
I think he said it's on the 7th.
Yeah.
So
and I think someone put it in the group chat. Childish Gambino is already teasing stuff from the main album.
Yep. That too. I forgot to add that. So
nuts.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun, and we got a lot of concerts coming up. We started off kind of slow compared to last year, but we got a lot of interesting concerts coming up.
Yes, we do.
So I guess we might as well start talking about what we've done.
Yeah, recently we have gone to a couple concerts. So
Brandon, tell us about our queen.
One thing I want to point out before we jump to that, I don't know if y'all noticed, Heartstone Psycho comes out the day we are seeing Don Toliver at Summer Smash.
Oh,
June 14th. So we're probably gonna hear some music from the new album right as it goes live, or right after it goes live.
The night of. That's sick. Yeah. That's sick as fuck. I love that.
I'm going to be raging.
Yeah. Psycho Bandit.
Yeah,
I
love Bandit. Bandit goes so hard. Like,
yes, I love that. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's very fun.
Something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
All
Brandon,
right.
tell us about
Megan
our
the
queen,
Stallion.
Megan the Stallion.
This was nuts. This was by far the most insanely packed and energetic show I've ever seen at the United Center.
Really?
Without a doubt. People like all the aisles were full of people like just like dancing, right? Like it was insane. It was out of scale, unlike anything. And like she had a fairly small stage like in the back, and it was just wall to wall people from like, you know, like the stage back. It was insane. Needless to say, I got asked if I worked there like 4 times.
Why are you there?
Yeah, like
Hey, did you drop a security jacket anywhere?
Yeah, it's like but it was great. Glorilla came out. It was
Queen.
Fantastic set.
Dancers again?
Dancers again. I will say, because when we saw her at Summer Smash, she performed for like what, 20, 25 minutes?
She killed it.
Yeah, and she killed it. It was super high energy. This time it was an hour, and you could tell that there were she went. First off, she went off for an hour, and like it just wasn't as high energy as the one we saw at Summer Smash. But it's like, how could it be? How can you do that? Like the level that she was doing at Summer Smash, like I just don't know. Like
that is a full workout.
Yeah, it's a insanely high thing, right? So there were definitely. It kind of reminded me of like when we saw Don Toliver at the Lovesick tour, like how it's very clearly like doing things in his set to give himself time to breathe and like catch his breath. She was doing that. Like she had a lot of the dancers go on. So I really enjoyed it. She did everything without a backing track.
Love that.
And then Megan went on forever. It actually was not a super long show. It was very satisfying and very long. She did all the hits. She started with Hiss, like the big one.
Single. Yeah.
Yeah. And
so this tour, it's not about an album. So she literally was just going through the hits.
Yeah, no, apparently it was apparently it's like a tour that she did like a bunch of times before the pandemic, the Hot Girl Summer Tour.
Oh,
and yeah. So it was just nuts. It was just wild. She brought
Angel Reese.
Yeah, they both brought out like like Angel Reese and other Chicago Sky players. Yeah. Angel Reese was out there throwing ass. It was hilarious.
Love that.
Yeah. So it was a lot of fun. It was a great vibe. Yeah, it was just obviously like it was just like kind of weird being like there were more women at the Travis concert than there were men at this concert. Like
incredible.
Like by like 2 or 3 times.
Which is saying a lot.
Yeah, like there were
not a lot of girls at the Travis Scott concert.
All right, so that begs an important question, all right? Does Hot Girl Meg scare the bros?
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Honestly,
yeah, maybe a little bit. Yeah,
just honestly.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe intimidate is the better word.
Yeah. Yeah, when you say scaring the bros, I feel more like Rico Nasty. But you know, I'm not saying it's not on the list.
Someone who's seen Rico Nasty, she does scare the bros.
Yeah, like. But yeah,
that reminds me of man. That's like oh
man,
that's wild. The fact that there's that few, that reminds me of like it sounds like early Beatles shows where there's like it's just they do like a crowd pan in like the 60s.
Yeah, it was like that.
Just the concert's all women.
Yeah, like I ran to the bathroom and it was empty. It was like, oh, okay. like
when you told me to go, I was just like, Brandon, I can't.
Yeah, right. Like, but it was
I'm too outnumbered.
Yeah, I know, but it was fun and it was a lot. Like people, if there was ever a case where like, oh, this was honestly, I do not think the United Center was a good venue for this at all.
Yeah, I remember you saying.
Yeah, like I definitely think this should have been like an outdoor festival show. Just like
I mean, she was at Lala like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I know. But like I think like it's just that's like assigned seating, people being really tight, like it's a lot. It's really is.
Is the Salt Shed outdoor stadium bigger?
I think so, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
I've only
Never
been to the
Swing shot
indoor.
at the outdoor, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
But yeah. So yeah, it was really great. I was definitely more impressed with Glorilla because she had a song drop that day and she performed it. It's called High as Fuck. It's very funny.
something I
Yeah.
don't know what the title is, but something has been blowing up on TikTok with like a dance with it as well. So
Yeah.
Glorilla is in her bag right now.
Yeah, no, she's killing it, and yeah, all the love in the world to that. So yeah, it was a fun show, a little bit
Nice.
different.
I guess another one we can cover. I think Jasper, you would do better explaining it. But last week we also went to see King Trey and Fresh Waters at Lincoln Hall, and it was a great show. Very low key, but great show. But Jasper, I think you should kind of take it away.
This was truly some if you know you know type shit.
Yeah.
This show was Lincoln Hall after work, started at 8, went till like we were there till like 11, 11:30, something
And
like
they
that.
weren't even done.
And they kept going. And we thought it was just going to be like the two of them and maybe like an opener. There were like 7 or 8 openers, like 10 artists in total really. King Trey, of course, we reviewed South End Legend earlier this year. Specifically, we reviewed the bass version right after the deluxe edition came out. Local guy, he's from Evanston originally, and super cool music, cool project. And then Fresh Waters is a member of Pivot Gang alongside Saba, and then the other the other Pivot Gang member who was there was motherfucking Mello, who was they came up on stage. They did a couple songs together. Super cool. Bunch of other openers from all over the place. There was, man, I have like a whole list of them. There's just so many.
It was a lot of people. It essentially turned into a networking like event.
Basically,
kind of crazy.
And we were actually out there. We had a conversation with the King Trey's manager beforehand, who actually was gave us like a go ahead and bring some equipment to shoot with. So we've had some posts up on social past couple days, some photos, a little bit of video, things coming out of that event. So some of the openers there as well. Let me just see if I can find a list of people here because I don't want to just like if I'm going to name names, I don't want to leave anybody off.
Right.
But there was a good amount. Here we go. So in order, we had. I guess I'm not even going to try to go in order. I'm going to go alphabetical. That's the easiest way. Alexis Ray Parker out of Houston.
She killed it.
She killed it.
Jesus.
Rapping, kind of low key, but then some more like energetic points as well in the set. Really nice. Demko, he was I think he originally lived in Chicago and then moved out. He wasn't really impressive, and we spoke a bit with him and his I think manager and networker who was there as well. Fresh Waters, of course. Gold, who we saw only a couple songs from. Unfortunately, he had some technical difficulties. But he did one of his last song about his brother who had passed away, acapella, which was really powerful.
It was crazy. I got the whole thing on video and like it looked fantastic.
Yeah, it was really, really nice. Good shots out of that one. Good lighting. J-Fro Reyes was another one. He was one of the first to go on that night. His stuff was pretty interesting. It didn't have. I didn't have the opportunity to like really catch a lot of lyrics for some of this, but so everybody who was there seemed to perform at like a pretty consistent level all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
Kid Young also really interesting, self-proclaimed kind of like nerd rapper still, I guess, like carrying the backpack rap torch a little bit, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
King Trey, obviously, Mello. Nile X Nile from Milwaukee, super energetic set. Dude came out just like he looked like he could have worked there. He had like just like a very plain outfit on, showed up, killed it, and then just like left immediately or like dropped off stage immediately, which is pretty cool. And then Rambe came out alongside Fresh Waters. I think he's a local guy as well. Rico Shy, who also killed it very, very quickly. And then the first couple openers were a couple of guys who went on together, Sorrow and Joey, both from Ohio. I think they're from Columbus. I'm not entirely sure, but both from Ohio, and they came out there with a camera guy who they were working with. And then Tyler Davis, who we actually talked to pretty extensively. He's from Atlanta. Yeah. Really interesting style, fast, just kind of pretty smooth flow for high speed though. Really, really impressive stuff.
A lot of great acts.
There's a lot of people out there. Yeah, and that was pretty much almost everybody. And there are still, I think, 2 people who I don't have the names for, who I like haven't been able to track down like who they are. So lots of acts. It was like a variety show.
Yeah, I was literally gonna say stuff like that. That's what I'm thinking about when we bring on. Oh my goodness, why am I blanking on his name? We just worked with him.
Danny No-Nos.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I'm picturing when like we set up something for him and like they go on tour. I think that would be a perfect situation where they bring on several smaller acts as an opener, because like it almost felt like a poetry event in a sense. It was a really dope event, and I feel like very grateful that I got to be a part of it. So
Yeah.
really great show.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it looked like a blast. I wish I could have been there, but life happens.
It's true. It's true.
And also, actually, one more thing. We have this, which is
oh my god, I forgot.
Unreleased mixtape / singles featuring it's King Trey featuring Mick Jenkins.
Yes.
So
other people.
I think I'm gonna have to go ahead and share this with you guys, and then maybe we'll do a little review here on the show for something that's still coming out. King Trey's about to start a European tour in a couple of months during the summer, so
no.
I assume this will come out either toward the tail end of that or maybe at some point during. So yeah, these were available at the show and just picked one up because I figured it'd be kind of a cool thing to run through and see what we thought of it.
Absolutely. And really dope concept. I don't think I've ever seen that at a show ever, just like releasing mixtape to buy on a physical forms.
Yeah, I have to see if I have a CD player to play that with.
No.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with that. And that my laptop might take CDs.
I have like stacks of blank discs under my desk over here, but I haven't used them in a long time. Like I love having physical media. It's just like what is the venue that is appropriate to use it in, right?
There is none. Not anymore. Not when streaming exists. But
until the thing's not on streaming, right? And then there you go.
Right. Well, that's pretty much all the news. Are we doing scores in section?
No, we're gonna skip this week.
But
yeah, because we got a lot. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to talk about one of the golden boys of the podcast, Vince Staples. Sure. New album, Dark Times. What did we all think? What's everyone's relationship with Vince Staples? I think me and Purvis are well on the record, but
casually listen to him. He's in rotation.
Yeah, he's really good. Like it's kind of impossible to ignore him. You know, I think agree. I don't know many people who like when you say like, oh, who's your favorite artist? You know, I don't know many people who like say like Vince Staples is like, you know, like a huge fan of, you know, like I don't see him brought up as often like when I talk to people, but like it is impossible not to be aware of him between everything, you know.
Right. Every single time I feel like his name is mentioned, everyone around me is just like, oh yeah, I enjoy Vince Staples. It may not be heavy in my rotation, but everything he's dropped is
quality,
very high quality,
very high quality, very thought through, very thoroughly produced. You know,
his discography is very tight, and I feel like he has mastered that 30 to 45-minute album.
Yeah,
where like when he drops, I have no doubts.
Yeah,
and that's impressive to say for an artist.
Yeah. Jasper, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty familiar. I think my first exposure was like 2017. Started getting into Big Fish Theory, and I still listen to a good number of songs off of that pretty regularly.
Yeah, me too. I was a Big Fish Theory probably once a year. I really like that album.
Yeah. Aside from that, his kind of more of his middle work, I didn't necessarily gravitate toward as much, specifically like Vince Staples. I thought FM was okay, but Ramona Park Broke My Heart definitely has a place. Like songs off of that definitely have a place in my rotation, and I really enjoy. I think aesthetically, some of the earlier tracks off of that, especially like Free the Homies, things like that, are staples for me, if you will.
Yeah,
very good.
So that's just like my kind of background. So again, not like an artist I listen to primarily, but someone who, whether it's just a song of his comes on or it's a feature, it's always a good time. There's like a consistent level of quality there across all of it.
Absolutely.
And of course, I think that, you know, having pretty high profile features has made him, you know, kind of stand out in that way as well. Everything from Spider-Verse to the Black Panther soundtrack to Call Me If You Get Lost, the estate sale, like all of this. He
no,
talks
he's
about
everywhere.
everything.
Yeah. He's made a name for himself, and he is extremely successful. And even this year, he's been on a crazy run. He has started to tap into like television. He's got his own show now on Netflix. I think it's 4 or 5 episodes. I just watched it this week, and very easy, light watch, just like his albums, easy, light listens, and it's great. I loved it, honestly.
He's also on Abbott Elementary, which is like one of the most well-reviewed, network shows of there aren't many good modern network shows anymore.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
He's on one of them, so like he's doing a lot. Like I was introduced to Vince Staples through the movie Dope.
True. Yeah,
because he has a small part in it, right? Like, and it was really early in his career. It was like 2015 that movie came out.
Yep.
Yeah, and it was.
You got like a photogenic memory or something.
Yeah, it's like slippery slope. I say that all the time.
I make
like
the photogenic joke, and people just think I'm stupid.
Yeah, and he's just very prolific. He's everywhere. Like I feel like. Well, this is a hot take. I feel like he almost is what people think Tyler is. Like, don't get me wrong. Tyler's everywhere. Tyler is in fashion a lot. But, like, Vince is everywhere. He's on TV. He's in movies. He's writing things. He's, in commercials. That's how a lot of people got to know him.
I'm about to say, I'm pretty sure he's in the Essential new collection as well. So, yeah, he's in fashion as well. He's very tapped in. Like, he bleeds L.A. and, like, I appreciate what he brings to the table. I feel like
very West Coast.
You're from extremely West Coast. If you're from LA, Vince Staples to you is what Chance was to us. Like, it just bleeds the city.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
and it means
that's a really good comparison, actually, and it makes me really mad. It makes me really mad.
Why are you mad?
Because LA gets Big Fish Theory, and we get the big day.
We also got acid rap.
We did get acid rap. We did get. You think we could get? You're right. We got acid rap. I'll tell that to myself. This is when I get off the podcast and cry. We got acid rap. We got acid rap.
We did get acid rap. But I mean, I feel like this was perfect timing for him. There's been, I know you've been off of social media, Brandon, but there's been a lot of traffic for him because there was like this trend on Twitter where you're saying like the most serious people are actually like also the most funniest. And like Vince Staples has several interviews where
he's like
he is straight serious, not smiling, making real claims, and like it is the funniest thing you'll ever watch. So
speaking of that, I just pulled up his filmography because I was curious.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to run through some of these. We'll see if these are surprising or not to you. So the Vince Staples Show, obviously, 5 episodes came out this year. He was in the 2023 remake, reboot, whatever you want to call it, of White Men Can't Jump. I don't know if any of us saw that, but that's a thing.
I do want to see that.
That
is a big one, yeah.
He was in the 5-episode series Abbott Elementary. He has a voice role on Laser Wolf, the show.
Oh, I love Laser Wolf.
2019 to 2021. He played himself in an episode of the show Insecure. On TV.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one. Yeah.
But then we get into some interesting things. He's in a couple of music videos that are not his.
Oh, I remember one of them that's very good.
Yeah. So one of them is Common's video, Hercules, featuring Swizz Beatz.
Oh, that's dope.
And he plays himself. He's just in it, but I don't know if he actually has a feature or not. But the one that you wouldn't expect, he is in the video for Old Town Road.
Yeah. He's the guy who...
Old Town Road?
Yeah, he tries to buy his horse.
The gambling guys, yeah. He's like the betting man.
Yeah, he's in the Old Town Road video. He's hilarious in it, yeah.
And he voices a battle rapper in American Dad in one episode of that, which I think is pretty fun.
Yeah.
Love that.
And that's pretty much it. Yeah, Dope was one of his first appearances. He was in another... Oh, well, I guess it was another common video featuring Vince Staples for... I think the song was called Kingdom.
Yeah.
So he was in that originally, but then Dope is the first like major screen appearance.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Very active, honestly.
Yeah. So now, what did we think about this album?
It gave a lot of Mac Miller vibes. I know they were close,
A lot of people were saying that.
I
I
know they
see
were
it.
close.
I see it. I see it
This
now that you
one
say. Yeah.
sounds really similar to like some of Mac Miller's last work.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I do
interesting.
recall one of my friends was saying he is super into Mac Miller. He was saying the main Reddit page for Mac Miller stuff was saying some specific single seems like it might have been either collaborated with him or have some kind of
Yeah.
touch or impact
Hmm
on the single. But I could definitely see that, and
Yeah.
I
And
thought it was a great album. Yeah.
and I feel like this is one of many albums we're going to start seeing a lot of people start like mimicking and dedicating their work, not publicly, but
Mm-hmm.
inside to like Mac Miller because he meant so much to these up and coming artists before he passed, and now these artists are becoming more popular and bigger names now.
Yeah. I think that's a good take, honestly, because even if you look into the Schoolboy Q project, he has a couple of
Another one.
verses
Yep.
speaking on Mac Miller, and that just dropped this year. So
Yeah.
I could definitely
He
see
has
it
one
being a
song
trend.
dedicated to Mac Miller.
Yeah. Blue
Yep.
Slide.
Blue Slides.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I could definitely see that becoming a trend, and it fits within his discography. I feel like it's a
Yeah.
very it's
Now
a
the
melancholic feeling.
It's a melancholic, but also melodic. There's a lot.
Yes.
There's a lot more. At least, okay. So I have not re-listened to the self-titled or Remova Park. That was like something I really wanted to do, but life happens. I listened to this like 3 times, and
Mhm.
to me, I think his last couple of projects sound very similar sonically. I think they
Agreed.
all blur together a little bit. I think this one just kind of expands that sound and kind of allows for more. Like, there's a lot more singing on this. It's a lot more because everything is kind of like tongue in cheek serious. Everything that
Hmm.
all the last few Vince Staples projects are all like, 85% serious, 15% silly. Like there's, you know, and
It's
I
a
feel
fine
like,
line.
yeah, it's a fine line, like because he has some silliness in this for sure, but it's
But the topics are real,
yeah,
and a lot of stuff you'll face in LA, especially where he comes from.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
and yeah, no, to me, I just feel like this expanded out that sound, and I really enjoyed it, and I don't think all of his projects sound the same. Like, I don't think this is quite like a Pusha T level, you know,
Hmm.
where it's like, it's the exact same thing, but it's still quality. Like, it's still good every time it comes around, because I do think Big Fish Theory had much more of a G-Funk, like old school LA kind of sound. And Fuck My Life, I feel like was a little bit more DIY, but I have to revisit that one too. That one was probably my least favorite of his projects.
Yes, FM Life was. So I actually had the opportunity to go back and listen to all of his discography. Um, I'm not gonna lie, I like this album a lot. It moved up to top 1, 2 pretty quickly, and it allowed me to go back to listen to his whole discography. FM is definitely the most out of touch. I don't want to say out of touch, but it doesn't fit with the rest of them.
No.
But Big Fish Theory, Vince Staples, Ramona Park, it is he's developing his own sound, and I feel like Dark Times is, I don't want to say the peak because I think it can get even better, but it is a combination of all the
Yeah.
sounds put together, and it is put together very neatly, very compact, very cleanly. And I appreciate everything he's brought to the table. It's nice to see a project like this hold weight because we don't get a lot of short projects. I was just yesterday trying to think of other short projects that could fit within a 30-minute span. And there's not a ton out there. And like I feel like he's filling that void excellency.
Right. Without it
yeah.
feeling compromised in any way.
Yes.
Right? Like we just
absolutely.
talked about 96 Miles to Bethlehem, and like, yeah, it feels like, I don't want to say the word rushed, but like, it's put out, with a sense of urgency.
Right.
Yeah.
And the topic is so serious. Like,
yeah. But this does not feel compromised at all. This feels like a full-throated, fully developed, I wouldn't call this a concept album, but it certainly is like a fully realized piece of work. At least for me, it was.
he's in his bag. This is his comfort zone. And
Yeah.
I don't mean that in a bad way, but like this is where he operates. And I feel like he needs to stay in this light.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Jasper, what did you think about the album?
I liked it a lot. I do think it is sonically, musically very in line with the last two projects, specifically Ramona Park and Vince Staples.
Mm-hmm.
I think that might be. I agree. I think it is like a specialized lane and sound that he has, which is good for his just like kind of cultivating the signature brand that is his at this moment. But I think that in terms of like if we were to give him like a career ranking on School is in Session, I think that having a sound like that and not I don't know, not necessarily being as high profile as he is by default might be to his detriment a little bit down the line. Like we'll have to see.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd like to see what he does when he does expand too. Like I thought this was a really nicely refined project. I didn't like it as much as Ramona Park or Big Fish Theory, but this would probably slot in just below those two.
I think that's totally fair.
Mm.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair to say because I don't think this tops Big Fish Theory for me. And I have to go back. I have to give Ramova Park another listen and really give it its due. But yeah, no, I really quite enjoyed this.
Yeah, no, it's good and it's tight. It's succinct. It's getting to the point in a
Yeah.
way that it does feel like Pusha T in that way. It's like iterative, and you're just kind of refining the formula.
Yeah.
I am curious, would you put them both in the same tier as we rank School is in Session?
You mean like as artists?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No, and
Elaborate.
it's not through their own fault either. Pusha T has had the opportunity, I think, to be significantly closer to many more events and songs and just musical moments that have really had an impact on the direction of the culture that I don't think Vince Staples had the opportunity to be near to. Specifically, like the fact that Pusha T has that verse on Runaway, like that was like just a huge deal for him in terms of his career and his trajectory and everything else, and it kind of made him a household name within the genre to an extent. And Vince Staples, I don't think has necessarily had those same highs in the context of like the company he keeps and also like where he appears, at least yet. Maybe like he has had some lesser ones that are more like outside the like the pop rap sphere pretty much, but I don't think he's quite there.
Mm-hmm. I think that is fair, to be honest.
No.
I think Pusha T is a bigger name in general, especially
Yeah.
comparing it.
Yeah, no, I just completely agree with Jasper. I think Vince Staples is getting there.
Yeah.
And I also think, I think time's a factor. Vince Staples is so much younger, but he also has put out like so much more work. So who knows how we visit this in 10 years, when we're not fighting over water.
We'll be fighting over much worse things, let's be honest.
In terms of like critical mass and like career popularity trajectory, I feel like right now this is like his like if I were to compare him to somebody who had like a career swell recently, it would be Tyler. I would say that this is like it feels like he is on the point now where Tyler was when Cherry Bomb came out. Not in terms of the quality of the work, but in terms of like
a pivot point.
Yeah, like there's like a certain amount of critical mass you've achieved in like a fan base, and now is the point where you kind of blow the doors off of it and make something that's a little more universal, where you can like really appeal to like the mainstream, as it were, and then just like, develop like a bigger following. And like honestly, on that level, he's like right there. It's just the next project has to be the one to carry him over that line,
I do like the comparison a lot because in the same way that I think Tyler deserves to be someone that will be mentioned in the big three for certain people.
Mm-hmm.
It's at the same time he doesn't really want to be in the big three. That's not an interest of his, and that's how I feel. Vince Staple is kind of the same. We've been saying for a while, especially on the podcast, where it's a lot harder to say a next big three under the more defining one. But Jed, Denzel, and Vince have been main people that's been mentioned several times to be in like that next tier of a big three. But at the same time, Vince Staples may not even want that. He doesn't really come off as a person that would want that in his music or career-wise, personality-wise.
We were talking about that when we last discussed him as an artist. We did that kind of deep dive.
Yeah,
we were talking about his like sparing use of features.
Yes,
and it's like this feels like almost a one-man show in a way, and he's really kind of orchestrating everything himself.
Mm-hmm. He does develop a good sound by himself, but what is interesting, he will be featured on someone else way more often than him bringing in somebody, which is similar to J. Cole. So it works for some people.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Tizo started out as purely a feature artist. He had features with some major names before even putting out his first album.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
Yeah.
Pusher T, the same thing.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Do the same thing.
Pusha T had clips though.
Yeah, that was
Ooh,
the
that is
jumping off
true.
point.
Yeah, and Tizo did have singles, but they were very small. I think what you say, holds water. I just nuance,
Mhm.
Yeah.
But yeah, shall we dive into the track list then? Because I think we all like Vince Staples.
For sure. I guess the opening track is just 31 seconds. It has like 3 words.
Yeah,
in it.
it's very much a tone setter, and there's a lot of tone setting in this album. Like there's the one track, I forget which exact one it is. I think it's I have the track list.
You talking about the interlude?
No, I'm talking about the one that starts with the gunshots. I think it is the interlude. Now that I think about it, is the one. It sounds just like the song from Good Kid, Mad City, where like there's the gunshots going off and there's people yelling.
Oh yeah! Oh my god, I know what you're talking about
Yeah.
because I just put up the lyrics earlier today. There
That's
is
not
something
Liars,
like that, and it says in the background like every minute, like literally, there's gunshots
yeah.
every minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That is a good.
Yeah. But yeah, no, this really is like a tight album because you have Close Your Eyes and Swing, which is just a tone setter, Black and Blue, which is a really like easy to listen to song to like let intro people in. It's an excellent opener.
It is a great song. Every time I listen to Black and Blue, I think about Jack Horseman. Every single time.
Yeah,
it's so perfectly.
It is so good. I really liked Government Cheese.
Yeah.
Black
and Blue almost reminds me of the intro to Mad Men a little bit.
Yeah. No, I totally see that. I have no idea how to say this one, but Etouffee.
Yeah, I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, Etouffee. I really liked. Honestly, like it is just interesting how it just takes you through like this journey of just like a series of vignettes. And yeah, like just kind of like moments in his life where he's talking about like the poverty he faced when he was a kid, or like how weird it is to date when you're famous,
popular. Yep.
Yeah, like
absolutely. Yes.
And that comes out again in the, I think, conceptually sound but kind of weird and off-putting final track. Which
Why Won't the Sun Come Out?
Yeah, where it's
some
just
girl has a vision of.
It's some girl's coke thoughts. Like I don't know if you've ever done cocaine across from someone at a party, but like this is what it sounds like.
No, yeah, it's a very trippy outro. It's very weird.
Yeah,
but
and it reverberates a lot of like, yeah,
like he mentions a lot of like God and praying and all this other stuff too.
Yeah, I think he's Muslim.
Yeah, and that's another thing I was going to touch on. I was listening to, I want to say it's a self-titled Vince Staples, and he was speaking on Allah and like things of that nature. So like,
yeah, there's quite a few Muslim rappers. Freddie Gibbs is Muslim too.
You know what? I just realized the end of the album, that last track. You know what it reminds me of? Actually, like the kind of monologue. It reminds me of Zealots of Stockholm when it does the breakdown and
a little bit
the woman's little like monologue in the
That's
middle.
interesting. Yeah,
I'm curious, like to what extent someone of like just a slightly prior generation of rappers like Gambino would have on someone like Vince Staples. Like what is the influence there, if any?
I mean, I imagine there'll be some crossover,
yeah. No, they definitely seem like copacetic artists. That would be a crossover I would love to see.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, but it is like really just very. I think if there's one thing that I think Vince Staples is consistently the best at, it's sequencing. Right, like this is a very like just well plotted like album. And I think
the songs just flow into
each other so well. Like I heard "Shame on the Devil" when it first came out because that was the single that came out before the album, and I liked it. I was like, "Oh, this is cool." It dampened my expectations for the album a little bit because I'm like, "Oh, to me it felt like, oh, this is going to be just like Remova Park," and I'm like, "Okay," but then which it wasn't. To be fair, I don't think it was that. But then I hear it in the sequence between Children's Song and E2Fee, and it just works so much better.
It's perfect.
Yeah, it's like just a perfectly sequenced album.
Mm.
And
I do have a question, just because I didn't know in the song Justin, towards because again, he's speaking on relationships and being popular and things of that nature. I don't know if you guys recall it. When the person walks in the room,
yeah, I
and the girl
remember.
goes like, "Baby, this is my cousin Justin," or whatever. Is she talking to the guy or like who's Justin? I
Oh
couldn't
no,
tell.
I was thinking the guy who walks in, right?
Okay,
Like,
she's calling him baby, and
yeah,
like Vince
like
is her cousin Justin, which is a lot. And then he goes into like
no, I
saying
was
like
thinking
all women lying or something.
no. I'll
I
have to
couldn't tell.
re-listen.
I don't know.
I was gonna re-listen because I interpret it as he thinks some other dude's about to come up, and then it turns out to be the kid's cousin because he talks about grabbing his gun in his waist,
Right.
And
and
yeah,
he
it's his
and like
cousin.
it's her younger
Okay,
cousin,
okay.
and he thinks about how fucked up it was about because he was about to shoot her
I was
cousin.
like, damn, that was close. Like, and then
Okay.
they have the
Yeah,
exchange,
that
like, hey,
was
what's up,
more
bro?
of
Nice
it.
to meet you.
Yeah.
That's why I was confused, because it follows up just like all women are liars. There's something like he goes into the song, it's like all women are liars. I thought she was calling him Justin and lying to like her boyfriend. I could not tell what was going on. I'm like,
It's interesting, but no, that's not how I took it.
Yeah, I took it the same way as Brandon, but that's possible. It's like, but then at the end, why would they have that just kind of like pleasant exchange if it were a lie, you know?
Yeah.
was it pleasant?
I thought it was just like, hey, bro, how you doing? Like, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Radio is my favorite song.
Really? That's interesting.
Dude,
I like
I
Radio a
love
lot,
Radio
but I thought
in the-
because I think this, and like that's the thing about this, right? Is that like it's just so thoroughly produced that like I don't think that there is like a weaker, beginning, middle, or end. But I think if anything, I would say maybe it's the middle that is like kind of not as strong, but because I think Liars was basically the only song that I was like, that's okay.
That's like a skit, I think.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah, it's only 57
Oh,
seconds.
yeah. Yeah, and that's the other thing is that everything is just so short and to the point that like it's kind of because I'm not usually in a position where I'm like looking at the names of the songs, so it's like, oh fuck, like what,
It's definitely fleeting.
It's definitely fleeting, and I think almost by design. Now, I do have a question for you guys, just kind of zooming out on the album a little bit, right? Because Vince Staples has released, I think, everything but Remova on Def Jam. Because Remova, Park Broke My Heart was on Motown, which is interesting. I didn't know Motown still put out albums. But
this is supposed to be the last one, I think.
This is the last one. So
Yeah.
my question is, like, where do we want Vince Staples to go from here? Do we want him to stay in this lane? Because I don't hate that because, the West Coast is not as... It's in an interesting spot. I think it's in because, like, the Atlanta sound has just taken over. I think the West Coast is in an interesting spot where everyone who's really doing it is doing it at a really high level. I think of people like Keem, like Kendrick, like Schoolboy, like Isaiah Rashad, right? Like the people who are like embracing a West Coast sound are doing it great, but they are just like a very small minority of the overall amount of music being put out. So do we want him to like just keep championing this and keep wearing it? Or do we want something grander or something else? It's hard to say, right? Like
it's very tough because he's filling a lane that like it needs to be filled. Someone has to come and carry the torch in terms of like being that sound underneath for Kendrick.
Yeah.
And I think he rocks it perfectly.
Yeah.
I do think it is limiting though. If he stays within the sound,
it is like it's really hard because it is such a well executed sound.
Man,
right?
It's like asking Pusha T to like change up his whole thing, and it's like
right, yeah.
But it's Pusha T.
It's like asking Action Bronson to not rap about food. It's like
it doesn't work.
Why would you do
Who
that?
are you?
Right? It's like asking West Side Gun to rap on beat all the time. He'll do it sometimes, but not all the time. Like
no, you don't have to do it at all.
Yeah. But yeah,
tough.
No, I think I know exactly what I want Vince Staples to do because I do want him to champion West Coast, but I would like him to maybe bring back. I would like another bigger, longer, more conceptual album that kind of embraces G-Funk again, like Big Fish.
Yeah.
And I think what I would really like is he partnered with Snoop on the newly revamped Death Row Records. You know,
I could see that.
I think he is the kind of the perfect artist for them to take under because he's like a known quantity, like a guaranteed success, and like kind of a you come in, you do what you do, and we just partner up. Like,
honestly, I think it's a good idea. I do like that. And Snoop Dogg, a little on topic. Snoop Dogg finally spoke out about the beef as well, and I think what he said about Kendrick and J. Cole or
Drake.
Kendrick and Drake. I saw a very small snippet. I didn't see the full interview, but he did say that like he is not picking sides because they're both his nephews. And what he does appreciate is that it pushed hip hop music back into focusing on the lyrics.
I agree.
Regardless if you like Drake, regardless if you like Kendrick, every song that came out were
it was high level. Yeah, it was like at a high level.
Serious.
Right?
Absolutely.
Like
the writing, the producing, everything.
Right. And like
was important.
And like here's the thing, right? Like name any diss that had such a clear loser and compare all those losers' quality. Right? True. And then it's like I think that speaks to what this diss was, right? Like I think
very true.
Because like Drake is the clear loser. But at the same time, like no one has ever done push-ups and Family Matters, right? Like that was insane, right? It was insane for him to think it would be enough because it's Kendrick. It's
not Drake's fault. It's just Kendrick's crazy.
Kendrick is nuts.
He's just a little crazy. It's okay.
But he's good though.
He is.
It's like you all have seen the video of him doing prison workouts in the park.
Yeah.
Like, why would you start a rap battle with this man? Why would you start beef with this man? This is like career suicide.
Yeah, this man writes his shit backwards. Like, what are we talking about here?
I was taking a walk the other day.
Yeah.
I heard you were conflicted. Let me talk to you.
Well, I'm going to use the van for like 5 minutes.
One thing I can't see Vince Staples doing is going out on his own with the deal he has with Netflix, because I believe his show got renewed for season 2
today.
Correct. So with that deal, I think I could see him going out on his own and just going like independent.
I think that's also a very viable option for him,
which I'm okay with.
Like I think that's like the great position he's in, right? Is because like he is just like a masterful craftsman, and like no matter where he goes, he's gonna find success, right? And like
he's already built a name for himself.
Yeah. And he has like, and I think the thing that I really appreciate about Vince Staples is that he's very clearly like chasing his interest.
Yes.
Right? Like he's not cashing out. He's not doing the thing. He's doing the things that he's interested in. Right? And I always appreciate that. And I think that's no small part in why he consistently does everything so well.
Mm-hmm. Focus on the music first. Everything else will flow in.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. Yeah, do we want to give a grade? Do we have anything else we want to say on this? Because I do feel like this is an album that's like kind of hard to talk more than like it's good, it's well produced, it's maybe more dynamic than his last 2 projects. But at the same time, like I think it's more dynamic and more ambitious. But like we're talking about the difference between an 8 and a 9, or like a B+ and an A-, in unpaid nobody's terms. So it's like how much. I think he pulled it off extremely well, but how much did it actually come back? I don't know, but
I mean,
it's
keep
the suffering from success. Like
life must be so hard for you.
Yeah. All right. Do we want to do grades? Jeff, it's your first time giving a grade on a review as an official nobody.
How do you grade? Do you do it by letters, numbers?
We do,
How do you...
we do the letter. We do
Like
like
the
a
school
school,
system.
like for school.
Okay.
So A plus, A minus.
I'd give it a B plus.
Okay.
I'd give it a B plus. I mean, it's right there, like on the border between A minus, B plus.
That's fair.
Okay.
I think that's totally fair. Yeah, because like I don't know if this topped Blue Lips for me. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it topped Blue Lips.
Yeah, I don't know if it topped Blue Lips for me. I don't know if it. I gotta think about other projects, but you know, I think it topped quite a lot. You know, I think I like this. You know, there's maybe more like longer like amount of songs on 2049 that I liked more than this. But as like a whole project, like I think 2049 just has a lot of fluff that like is good. It's better than other Yeet stuff I've liked, but or I haven't liked. But this
2039?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Or
2093?
2093?
I don't know. I'm sorry, I listened to more than 2
I heard
albums.
you say like a 4, and I was like, wait.
I don't know. Because I'm also playing Cyberpunk 2094 or whatever it is. 20. I don't know. They're all. There's so many dates. Stop putting dates in the name of your media. Stop it. It's not good.
I'm gonna go play some Doom 2016 after this.
It's not even in the title because it's good. Low key.
And yet you still have to have it, otherwise you don't know which one.
I know which one. No one's talking about the old one.
I was gonna be playing the old one on like, I don't know, a pregnancy test. You would never know.
Yeah. I remember putting it on my iPod in high school, like in
you
study
put it
hall.
on your iPod.
Yeah, Doom. Yeah. And not like an iPod Touch, like an iPod with a click wheel.
Right.
Like
That could not have been enjoyable.
it was something I did like in study hall. It was fine. Like until I just started like once I realized like, oh, I'm gonna graduate with a 3.0. This is fine. I'm gonna just play Pokemon Red in study hall. Like,
this is good enough.
This is good enough. Like, yeah. But yeah, Jasper, do you want to go? Do you want to give your?
Yeah, I'm feeling like I'm in the same spot. I would say this is a B plus. I think that it does kind of build on the Vince lore that we already have. It's like it's expanding that universe. I would like to see that universe get further expanded. Maybe some new musical styles. Maybe some, I don't know, some more like mainstream appeal to just kind of get it into the heads and the the minds of new people just out there in general. And then maybe some like newer, different features to try and kind of connect with other artists in the way that he's connected on so many other people's tracks. I think that would just be kind of like for me what would kind of push him over that edge and give him the maybe like the sound that will carry him into like that next phase of his career, like I mentioned.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, I like that. I'm going with an A minus. I think this is. Of the last 3, which I do think feel like very of a piece with each other, I think this is my favorite one. And I think I gave, I don't know if I review it, but like to me, those are like BB pluses. So if I'm going to feel a little bit better about this one, I'm going to go A minus. And yeah, like I feel like it is a full realization of like the Vince Staples lore, like the Vince Staples thing. Yeah. So yeah, no, I'm going A minus on this one.
I don't know what it is, but this one just kind of clicked for me. I really, really enjoyed this album. I feel like this album made me revisit his catalog. It made me watch his Netflix show. I'm gonna give it an A minus. I am fully on boat for Jid, Denzel, Vince being the next leaders of the industry, and I am confident with them taking the wheel. So that's just me. I think. Also, I realized like. The sounds that just kind of click with me. This falls right in it. Like this is perfectly fitting for what just kind of makes your head click. So yeah, that's just me. A minus.
No. Yeah. All right. Well, we should probably do our recommendations. Yes. All right. I have no idea. I just shuffled and I was like, what are 2 songs I want to recommend? Okay.
Do you want to start off? Then?
Yeah, I'll start off. My first one, seeing as it's summertime, this is a song that came on the radio the other day. And I'm like, oh, this is the song that to me just communicates summer perfectly. It's Slide, Calvin Harris, Frank Ocean, and the Migos.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
That's a summer jam, and they're both summer songs. They're both songs I was like, oh my god, I was recently driving and on my way to work, and I was like, oh, this came on, and it felt like summer.
Yeah, I love that. That's a good song.
I agree.
Is anybody else ready? Should I just go?
I've got
All right,
mine.
well,
You can go.
Either way.
All right, well, I'll just go then. I'm back on my TikTok grind. I have been getting nonstop music recommended to me from TikTok. The first person I just discovered this artist, Pale J. He came out with the song "Shameful Game." It came out in like 2021, but it's a very similar sound to like what you would hear in R&B for like 1980s, 1990s. Very similar to the song like "Can I Call You Rose" that just came out, but it sounds like it's old as hell. Very similar lane. So that's gonna be my first recommendation.
My recommendation is an artist I came across on Apple Music just through a playlist. Is Phora. That's Phora, and the song's Room 427.
Interesting.
I like it. If you're kind of in your feelings, it's like one of those perfect songs for it. He has a unique style, I think.
Good take. Good take.
All right. My first one is going to be a nice little EDM track. Anzo is the artist, and the track is called Moonbound. Fully instrumental. This is like their big standout hit. It's been on my like power synth playlist for a long time, and I've been doing a little more running now that the weather's nicer. So the EDM's coming back out pretty strong for that. So
love that.
Super nice. Good like spatial audio. Like put on some headphones, listen to it. It's kind of the way to enjoy this one.
I'm still waiting for you to make my EDM playlist.
I got you. I got one almost ready to go. Like I can just share it with you and keep adding to it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right. My next one is another, I think, objectively incredible summertime anthem. A little bit more recent than the other one. And a different vibe. Come My Way, Saba and Crazy Bone. Yeah, that's a good one. That's smooth. That's a smooth little sitting outside jam.
Give me some more Saba this summer.
Would love some Saba this summer.
I'm here for it.
Why has Saba not yet been in a TV spot ad for Sabra?
I don't know. Probably because he has respect for himself.
I don't know. I mean, Chance the Rapper was in that Kit Kat commercial.
Yeah, does Chance the Rapper look like someone
Stop. We're not going down this. We're not going down this road.
I don't know. You don't like the bear costume? You don't like the...
Oh, my God.
My second song, again, I've been on the TikTok grind. I found an artist called Bash for the World. Dropped an album very recently. Very young, streaming Spotify era kind of person. I mean, SoundCloud era kind of person. Song called 50 to 1. It is a phenomenal song. Absolute slapper. So I highly recommend that one.
Fun.
I'm going to go with my AirPods died. My other song I'm going to go with is The Quest by Mac Miller.
That's a good one.
Love that.
That's a great one.
I will always support a Mac Miller recommendation. All right. Jasper closes out.
I regret to inform you, I have once again fallen down the sampling rabbit hole.
Here we go.
Just when it comes to like how it's made, and like you see the videos of where like it's like that I think it's called Tracklib, the channel that will like do like the breakdowns of how stuff is like flipped and chopped and reversed and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the ones that made their top, I think 50 most influential samples in hip hop that has been stuck in my head, even though I think the lyrics are mid, but the sample is glorious, is Ginseng Strip 2002. So Young Lean's breakout.
Oh, I love Young Lean. I love that song.
Wow.
So, that fucking beat is so good. I think the lyrics are just kind of like but like, oh my God. I could listen to the instrumental of that on repeat all day.
Some Young Lean. Okay.
Wasn't expecting that.
Dude, Young Lean's great. I remember college. I listened to a lot of Young Lean in college. All right, guys. Well, we're back. We're better than ever.
They're better than ever.
Oh, like and subscribe. Remember to set it this time.
Smash that like. Follow
Smash
us on
that
social
like.
media. We got some cool stuff coming up with Summer Smash.
Yeah, we have a lot of cool stuff. We're gonna be doing a lot of shit all over the place. It's gonna be great.
Oh my god!
yeah.
I just realized we're predominantly white. Oh boy.
At the underscore unpaid underscore.
Not when you count
nobodies.
Isaac. Not when you count Isaac.
That's true. That's
We'll
true.
get t-shirts.
And technically, Brandon's mix.
I am. Yeah.
Brandon is mixed. I'll give you
Okay,
that.
predominantly white podcast. This is now the Pusha T show. Let's do this.
The Kanye concert of podcasts. Okay, now we're done.
Oh.